Hey, how's it going, everyone? Good afternoon, and welcome to the Brave Traveler. I'm your host, IR. Have you seen what the thing that won at the Oscars for Best Movie of the Year? It's some porn piece of shit called Anora. I have no idea who's the leading actress. I don't really know her fucking name. I've never seen her before. I don't give a shit. It's more nihilistic garbage about how your body and people you have sex with doesn't really matter. It's normal. YOLO type of bullshit. It's basically Pretty Woman. For the modern age with a twist. Like, you ever wonder why Richard Gere was rich in that movie? Well, Richard Gere has downgraded in this new version. He seems to be a Russian teenager with illegal income. And the leading character, I don't know what her name is. She kind of looks like Ezra Miller as a female. The face, not the body. I saw a clip of the acceptance speech she gave where she thanks the sex workers everywhere. And I think, okay, you're full of shit. You're fucking stupid. This is a plan. This is another giant commercial where if you're not aware of the reality of the world, then you have no idea. You think this is just an artistic endeavor, and it's not. It's fucking not. And yet another female actress gets rewarded with an Oscar for doing overly sexualized fuck scenes in a movie. Like, it's just my opinion, but I honestly don't feel that Halle Berry is an amazing actress. I think that when she was young, she was very pretty. She was cute. And then when she got older, she's still a good-looking woman, but as far as her acting skills, they never went past being B-level. She's a B-level actress, and we all have to pretend that she's an A-lister just because, you know, she got shoved in people's faces, and it wasn't because of her talents as an actress. Actor, fuck off, actress. But she got a fucking Oscar for Monsters Ball because she gets fucked on screen by Billy Bob Thornton. And that's acting? I thought acting meant pretending, not simulating. So, I mean, there's two different schools of thought when it comes to acting. One is pretending, and the other one is simulating it as closely as possible. It's just, I don't believe that that movie was enhanced by the fuck scenes. I think you could have done the exact same thing differently without making it so graphic, making it about that. But whatever. The movie we're talking about is this stupid thing that sounds, I don't know what the hell it sounds like. Anora? Why did that win Best Movie of the Year? It's a movie about a stupid young person who becomes a stripper, gets a lot of money easily for degrading herself, for selling her soul pretty much, She meets a young guy from the criminal world, organized crime. He's Russian, although he listening to him do the accent makes me feel like he can't be fucking Russian. And also, I saw a video of clips of the movie, which it's basically just a stupid porn movie. The guy acts like an idiot, very overly excited, like, oh, this is how tourists from Europe and Russia act when we see naked girl. We go stupid. It's so much fun. It just looked ridiculous. It reminded me 100% of Pretty Woman, except in this version, the Julia Roberts fucks around, cheats. She's a disgusting whore, and Richard Gere is a stupid idiot. I mean, Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman was admittedly a whore. They just didn't show that side, so it allowed the audience to sort of pretend it's not true. It's kind of like, I was a big fan of Freddy Krueger, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies when I was younger, because I used to be afraid of horror movies, and I hated that. And this was the first actual horror movie that didn't scare me. It just entertained me, because Freddy was the only horror movie monster that wasn't terrifying, you know? Like Michael Myers or Jason, they weren't saying anything, but Freddy, you could tell he was having a ton of fun. He was ready to tell a joke or be an asshole in a snarky kind of fashion. What I didn't realize, because they didn't show it, and I'm glad they didn't, but he's a child molester, right? So that doesn't really hit you in the face until you're a lot older, and then you go, oh, so they weren't showing this, but they're basically telling you this is what he would do. So this is the same thing that was going on with Julia Roberts' character in Pretty Woman. She's a hooker, a whore for money. You get to fuck her if you pay her money. You didn't see that in the movie, so you get to, ignore it. Now in this one, they're shoving it in your face and glamorizing it. Like, she's so noble. I mean, even the dumb bitch at the Oscars doing the I'd like to thank all the sex workers. I mean, what? I'd like to thank all of the sex workers for spreading diseases, being disgusting role models for stupid people, thinking that, hey, why not? People want to fuck me, and I like that. Now I can make money off of that. It's not so bad. I get to party all the time. People are just jealous. No, stupid. You're full of worms. You're full of parasites. You're disgusting. You can't even concentrate enough to finish one book. You never finish school because, again, you cannot pay attention and focus. Forget school, for a moment, since obviously that shit is rigged and bullshit. But you can't even do anything worth doing. Yeah. And I think that's what this movie's for. That's the purpose of this movie. It didn't get an Oscar because it deserves an Oscar. It got an Oscar so that everyone would be curious enough to check it out. Whoever these piece of shit, disgusting, demonic bastard judges at the Oscars are, they didn't choose this movie because it's a work of art. It's not. It's fucking stupid. I think they literally went through the movies that were made and said, which one is the worst movie? Which one would be the most damaging if we put a big ass spotlight on it? I stopped watching the Oscars since Will Smith and Chris Rock did their little shtick with the slapping. It's been a while. It's been like over a decade that I had a feeling that the Oscars are garbage. And then I wanted to believe, like, no, they're not. I'm just being too judgmental. But they are garbage. There's no reason to watch the Oscars. There's no reason to respect the Oscars. It's not just that it's rigged, which it is. It's that the type of thing that they're looking for now isn't what normal people would expect. It's not quality. It's just pushing a negative message. And who's going to do the best job of marketing a negative message? That's how you win the Oscars. In a world controlled by bad things, bad entities, bad whatever the fuck they are, you know the formula for success in this world, except I can't forget, what Jesus said in the Bible: don't love this world because this is not permanent. And I know I'm a sinner. I curse a lot. More than that, I have premarital sex, and I'd like to stop. But obviously, I haven't, which doesn't sit well with me, but, well, let's get off of that. I'm not going to watch this movie, and I think it's understandable to take the position of, well, how do you know if you haven't seen this movie? I saw the commercial. It gives it all away right there. I mean, you'd have to be short-sighted, inexperienced to believe that there's more to it. The movie's just going to be a longer version of that commercial. And I've lived long enough to know, to be able to recognize something without needing the entire thing. I think some people don't give a thing a chance, but I mean, I saw the commercial. It's all there. There's nothing good there. Not only that, I saw a 9, close to 10-minute video of clips of the movie. It's garbage. It really is. It's not worth watching, I mean, you might think that, well, the leading actress, she's good looking. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. That's what they want, It's not by accident that she was hired to be the leading character. It doesn't make it worth it. It really doesn't. If you're so easily led by something just because it's attractive, I feel sorry for you. Because attractive people are not rare. You know, what is rare is someone that has dignity, self-respect. I mean, that girl at the Oscars, she started thanking random people, not just the sex workers. And then she pointed out, like, thank you to my twin brother for being my best friend, not that you had a choice. Man. I really wouldn't want my sister, who just played a whore in a movie, to even mentioning my fucking name. Yeah. I mean, she clearly must not have a father, or he's not the real father, or her brother. I mean, what's wrong with him? I mean, if I had a sister who simulated getting fucked by a bunch of guys in a movie and danced like a whore, I'm not claiming that. I'm not about to say, like, yeah, my sister is such a method actress. I would feel like shit. And to conclude with that, movies are now bullshit. Television is now bullshit. Right now, the only thing I watch on television is the Ben Stiller show. Not the actual Ben Stiller show, but an Apple TV show called Severance. It's supposed to be directed by Ben Stiller. And I know he was the director of The Cable Guy, which I think is the only Ben Stiller movie I liked. I've liked a lot of movies with Ben Stiller. There's Something About Mary, The Heartbreak Kid. Again, these are Farrelly Brothers movies. But movies that he's made, like Mystery Men and Tropical Thunder, man, they're humorous. They're not good. I think it really depends on the talent involved. And even though he's got a lot of like famous talented friends that he included in Mystery Men and Tropical Thunder, sometimes it's not enough. Okay, because Jack Black and Robert Downey Jr. were in Tropical Thunder, and the movie was still shit. It was total garbage. It's humorous, you know, but sometimes that's not enough to make it good. The Cable Guy was good, but you might say, well, it had Jim Carrey. That's, you know, he might be a bigger talent. Maybe. Severance does not have an all-star cast, and yet it works. It's interesting. I mean, Ben Stiller didn't write it. It was some other person. I can't remember who. But the premise is interesting. It takes, you know, like The Office meets Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which apparently, according to some hideous-looking celebrity, that's now a real thing. What's her name? Ana Grande or some shit? The hideous-looking thing that starred in that disgusting movie called Wicked, which I didn't watch. I mean, who the fuck would? Retarded people, I guess. I saw a little clip where she was in the red carpet, and she said that her memory kind of fails at times ever since she went to the some fucking institution that gave her a mind wipe, which of course sounds like bullshit. I think it is like how fittest flat earther says that they're just trolling the rest of society that thinks this is a real thing. Anyways, in this show, Severance, it's an office job, but they're handling top secret stuff, and therefore they have to go through a special situation of not being able to remember their lives while they're in the office connected to their outside lives. So when they're out of the office, they have no idea what they're doing when they're working in the office. And when they're in the office, they can't remember anything of the outside world. So it's a pretty interesting premise. And eventually it gets to them. And they want to find out more of their lives outside. It gets to them not to remember if they're married, if they have children, or what's going on the outside world in their personal lives. It gets to them to not get that sensation of ever leaving, because they will constantly be mentally checking out as soon as they get into the elevators that lead them to the outside world. So they don't even remember leaving, right? They get into the elevator and all of a sudden they're coming back in. So it sounds like hell, but the environment when they're in there is still that of working in an office. So if you're a fan of The Office, it's a lot like that with a twist, of course. And I just I found it really interesting. Unlike The Office, which I can't put up with. It's a show glorifying how stupid people can be, and isn't that funny? No thanks. I check out real quick. I did work in an office when I was younger, and I know that it is very much like that. It's a bunch of unprofessional people feeling obligated to behave in a more professional manner because they're in a fucking office. Which just results in a lot of hypocrisy and phoniness. And I think that's a fine summary in a nutshell for The Office. It's not... I don't understand these people that can actually say, like, I've seen every episode 3 times, or stupid shit like that. I understand that there's some funny people in there and there's a funny character, but no thank you. Other people have said to me, well, you only gave the I know I saw the first season. I can't remember a damn thing because I didn't like any of it, and it was so stupid and not worth remembering. I wanted to say that I saw the first 3 seasons, but that's not true. I had forced myself to watch Sex and the City many, many, many years ago. I saw the first 3 seasons, and it's the same thing. It's not memorable. It's total shit. I think that these people that make it are the bad guys, because then all of a sudden you'll have like a swarm of critics hailing it as one of the best things that's ever been made. Basically trying to convince people to watch this garbage. Because, like I've told my daughter, there are certain things that you can see, watch, or listen to that are the equivalent of mental poison. like pornography. That is a type of poison, I sincerely believe. And then there's other things like that movie Anora, or Sex and the City, or The Office, where it serves no real purpose to enhance you as a human being. Instead, it's detrimental to your humanity. It poisons you on the inside, right? Because it's not directly telling you, hey, being stupid is funny, you should do this. Or, hey, being a slutty, promiscuous piece of shit is perfectly normal. Go ahead, don't feel bad about it. No. It delivers this message indirectly. It shows it to you. So you can't argue against it, because there is no argument whatsoever. It's not trying to engage you in a conversation. No, it's showing you a glimpse of someone else's experience, as if, even if we all know that that's not the way it is. Some of us won't go that far even to put that much resistance, because there is no engagement, there is no argument, and therefore we won't look at it twice. We'll just sort of accept that, well, this is probably someone's experience, while not necessarily everyone's experience. Maybe. And that's the dangers of shit like that. Since there is no resistance, no argument being made, your subconscious will sort of look at this and think to itself that possibly this is what would happen if I do this. And it's not. And that's how it becomes mental poison. I should know. I was one of those fucking stupid people that for a very long time watched the absolute worst trash imaginable because I was a rebellious fucking kid, and so I saw things like Howard Stern that are constantly glorifying anything that's detrimental to you as a person. Just go ahead and listen to this, watch this, and, be stupid enough to think that it's great when it's anything but. But I digress. Let me go back to what I was saying. Severance. Where was I? Took a break. The first Severance, season 1. I think I saw that like 2 years ago. It's been a while. And it just ended in such a cool little cliffhanger ending that even though I'm not much for watching movies and television anymore, because I truly believe they're all trash, when I saw that season 2 just recently came out, I had to check out the first episode, because that other Apple show, Silo, the second season disappointed so much. It was so fucking boring. It was so much about the woke bullshit propaganda, not a whole lot of interesting stuff, and most of it just sort of felt like ridiculous. Like, here's people that will kill each other, backstab each other, and the entire time you might be thinking as you're watching the show of Silo season 2, there's nobody around. If you guys know that, you're kind of a danger to each other, why don't you just kill the Tim Robbins character, immediately? Just go ahead and do it. Why not? There's no soldiers around. This could easily have been, rectified by having a soldier or two standing outside of the room, and then you would get it. Like, oh, that's why he doesn't just fucking kill him immediately. But you don't see that. You don't. And I just kind of think like, well, that's stupid. We're all supposed to believe that they're afraid of this guy because of repercussions. If there's no other higher authority character other than Tim Robbins, where's the consequences going to come in if you kill him? All I see is pros and no cons. And yet the show is kind of pretending like, well, cause reasons. Yeah. So season 2 dropped the ball and it bored me to tears, whereas the first season was still kind of mysterious and interesting, even though it was all about girl power and how one woman can do everything, and that's silly, but I'm used to that. I've seen that a lot growing up my entire life. The second season tried to be more political, tried to sort of inject a lot of this woke shit and LGBTQ stuff, and they didn't do it in a seamless way where it fit the story. It was pretty obvious that they went out of their way to inject this stuff in there, and it didn't add to the story at all. In fact, it took away from it because it slowed it down, it deviated. I was bored. I still haven't even finished season 2, and I think it's been over for a while now. Because it doesn't interest me. It makes me lose interest. I've just saw the first episode of Severance, season 2. It's awesome. I found myself being angry at the female character because at the end of season 1 she finds out something about herself and who she is on the outside. And so that was a total cliffhanger. And then, as I'm watching the first episode of season 2, they ask her, like, what did you see in the outside world? I'm probably giving it away, but watch the show. I think you'll like it. It's quirky and intelligent, and I can really appreciate that because that's refreshing in an ocean of stupidity. It's actually done well. So, and all 8 episodes of season 2 are available now, and I'm probably gonna have a hard time not watching all of them at once, back to back. I mean, and or at once. I'll get 8 televisions, and I have fucking OCD and ADHD when it comes to this stuff. If I like something and there's nothing holding me back, like, that's enough. You played this video game, enough. Wait, it's not going anywhere. It's yours. Nope. Got to play it nonstop until I fucking beat it. I hate that so much. But hey, only a loser will, claim to this as being a point of pride. But I do have the platinum trophy for Bloodborne and Elden Ring. I did beat Shadow of the Erdtree. Including the DLC for Bloodborne, the Old Hunters. Man, that thing was awesome. I'm glad I did it, but I'll tell you why. I think for a giant portion of my young adult life, I became addicted to video games, and I was only able to rip away from it when I could replace it with a different addiction. Like 10 years ago, I started bodybuilding, and I took it very seriously, and I even sold my friggin' PlayStation at the time. If there was a video game that was coming out that I really, really, really wanted to play, like, I can't even remember which one, but whatever it was, I would buy a system, buy the game, play it, pass it, and then sell the game and sell the system. And that was honestly the best way to go about it. I might just do that again, actually. But not right now. The new game that I just got was Split Fiction, and I'm playing that with my daughter because I played all the other ones that they've been putting out. Brothers, A Way Out, It Takes Two. Split Fiction is, I mean, just like the other games that I just mentioned, they're a lot of fun. You work in cooperation a lot, and I think more games like that, where you can actually play with another person right next to you, it just adds another level of enjoyment to it. Also, Hazelite, the fact that most of their games you're able to play with someone else online who doesn't even have the game. That's pretty good. If you have any friends that want to play it, as long as one of you owns it, you can. It reminds me of what I discovered in recently from playing the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. Almost all of the From Software games that I've played and passed, which is pretty much all of them, except for Sekiro. I don't think that one has this ability. I played it solo, on my own, and until just recently that I started enjoying the whole multiplayer experience. Like Shadow of the Erdtree, I beat that game in like 2 weeks, and whenever there was like a boss, I would get help from the multiplayer experience, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more that way. I know there's a lot of idiots out there that will be like, that's bullshit, that's like playing it on easy, you have to do it all on your own. Well, I did do almost all 7 of these games on my own. I just didn't get the multiplayer experience at all. I thought it deviated from the experience. And maybe it does. But after you've had the experience time and time again, game after game after game, I was ready. And I loved it. I do agree that if I would have done every game that way, and I don't think you can, honestly. I mean, maybe if you have friends on your friends list that have the exact game and you sync up with them so that you can sort of partner up and play the game together. But that's actually a lot harder to accomplish. I mean, if you have buddies that own the games, then hey, you're set. You can do that. I didn't do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think theoretically, I'm not sure because I don't have that many friends, but I think you can actually play Elden Ring with like 5 other people at the same time. So you could have your own group of 6 people. That would actually be very interesting. I've never tried that. That would be interesting. Although I already beat the game, so what the fuck do I want playing it again? I know that there are a lot of people that will play it again in the new game plus, and I get it. You have all the weapons. You have all the incantations, sorcery, miracles, pyromancies, whatever. And now you're wondering, what would it be like to fight all those other bosses that gave you a hard time before you could level up, before you had all these abilities? I'm a little curious, but not enough to actually do it again. Like, I think that curiosity is going to stay there, unfulfilled, because there have been games like that before. Like Dead Space. I remember the first time I beat Dead Space, because I beat it again with the PlayStation 5 new version. I think it's a remake. I don't think it's considered a remaster, even though it's so close that it feels like it's a remastered edition, but no, it's a remake. When I first beat that thing, throughout the entire game experience, you're collecting materials to upgrade. And you're upgrading your weapons, you're upgrading the suit. And then all of a sudden, in New Game Plus, you pretty much have everything you need so you can have the ultimate suit. To the point where it did make me curious. Like, I'd like to play this again with that. And I never did it. I have the new version because PlayStation gave it to me for free with the PlayStation Plus free games. And so I'm a little curious to play the New Game Plus or whatever. To play it again with the ultimate suit. That would be very interesting. I think that one I might play again. It's just such an easy game. So it wouldn't even take me that long. But I need more time. Since it hasn't been that long. It's been like maybe a year since I beat that game. Maybe in another year, I wouldn't mind beating it again. Until then, I still have other games that I haven't even played. I have Black Myth, Wukong, and Alan Wake 2. What's that other one? Cyberpunk 2077. But that one doesn't really interest me at all. I don't know why, but it just seems like garbage. There's something so fucking boring every time I play that game. It feels like it was trying to be a Grand Theft Auto clone with a twist. And for me, that twist is not really working. Because it's not better than Grand Theft Auto. It's not even matching Grand Theft Auto. So, I don't know. It bores me. It shouldn't have done the whole open world thing. Or it should have handled it a little better. Because it's just boring. And then they came out with the DLC like, ooh, I don't give a shit about that. It's the same thing you see over and over again in new stuff. It's nihilistic. Like, nothing matters, YOLO. Fuck that. It bores me. Because I disagree. Alan Wake 2, I like how it has that Twin Peaks feel. Black Myth Wukong, it's fun and challenging, and I think I haven't given it much time just because I've been on this silly little mission of beating all the From Software games, and I still haven't. I'm only missing the Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro. Sekiro is clearly going to be the hardest effing game. But it should be fun. I'm on, what's her, Lady Butterfly, I think that's her name. I'm on that fight. Dark Souls 3, I have no idea. Because it's so much like every other game. But it's non-stop enjoyment. That game is fun. And I'm actually looking forward more to playing Dark Souls 3 than I am with Sekiro. Because Sekiro is a challenge. I'm not saying Dark Souls 3 isn't. I don't know. There's something, since I've played these that kind of game so many times before with Demon Souls, Elden Rings, Dark Souls 1, 2. It's even Bloodborne, I think. It's easier. It's more familiar than Sekiro. What a name, though. I found out that Sekiro or Sekito means, literally, it means whatever. It means something that doesn't matter. It's an expression. So you could sort of translate that to whatever. And I just thought that was hilarious. Like, I guess not to us, right? Because to us it sounds like, it's a Japanese word. It sounds so foreign. It's like, whoa, mysterious. It's perfect. You see the awesome trailer, and then Sekito, shadows die twice. But I tried to imagine what it'd be like for Japanese people seeing the video game commercial for the first time. It looks all amazing, artistic, dignified, epic battles, and then all of a sudden, whatever. I'm looking forward to the new Elden Ring multiplayer experience called Night Rain. I think that's what it's called. It's coming out like May, at the end of May 20. I can't remember. And it's not by Miyazaki, so I guess I'm not expecting a really amazing story. And I'm not expecting it to have the same feel because, has a different director. And I think that's pretty accurate because the first time that I saw the trailer for it, I thought somebody made a troll video. It wasn't serious. It's somebody just spliced together, some. Thank you. I hate people that have car alarms that sound like it's the police. What the fuck is wrong with you? Well, whatever. Can't be helped. The game had such a different feel that I didn't even think it was an actual game until months later. It should be fun just because of my experience with Shadow of the Earth Tree and how fun the multiplayer thing was. I'm sure that a game solely based on that experience of, playing with other people, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. I'm definitely going to get that one. And Liza P has a DLC coming out. The DLC is called Overture. I need to look into why that is. Why is it called Overture? And what do game companies usually do when a game is successful? Well, you'd be wrong if you said make a sequel. They start coming out with prequels. Like even Borderlands, after the success of Borderlands 2, what did they do? Borderlands 3? No. A prequel sequel. So, this new DLC for Liza P is a prequel. I mean, whatever. I'm sure it'll be fun. Liza P was actually a lot of fun. I hated the final boss of the game. That fucking thing, which was actually Pinocchio. You if you think you're playing as Pinocchio, you are not. Some people have speculated that you're playing as the Tin Man. I have no idea. I guess I'm looking forward to Overture. Although, do realize that Liza P heavily gets his story from the Gnostic texts. So, And it doesn't even try to hide it. I mean, from using names like Yaldabaoth and Demiurge and Moab. So, yeah, it's the Gnostic text, 100%. If you've read that stuff, you'll recognize it. Or you can just do a quick research summary of it and you'll see it right away. Although I would recommend people actually read it, because there's I think that the Gnostic texts are not 100%, but mostly bullshit. I think there's a lot of good stuff in there, but it's just muddied with the bullshit. I think, like most sacred texts, bad people have stuck a hand in changing certain things in order to mislead and misguide. And if the Gnostic texts aren't 100% bullshit, then they have definitely been messed with, edited. They might have stuff added, because some stuff will be like, oh, this is really good information, and then all of a sudden you're gonna see things that don't make sense. And I don't mean that I don't understand them. I mean that they are the opposite of good. But you can't really know for sure until you've read it. You might even think like, no, it all sounds good. Read the entire thing and then you'll see.